Hello, welcome to my channel. Today I thought I'd experiment with impasto roses. I painted the background as I usually do. I'm using acrylics, by the way, and I put in my leaves, my stems, some buds as I would normally do, but then I mixed my reds with a gel medium and I put my roses in with palette knives. So it's a little different to my usual rose paintings, but I think it turned out really well, and I hope you enjoy the video. And if you do, please give me a thumbs up and hit the subscribe button. That helps my channel grow and I'd really appreciate that. And thank you very much for watching. So here we go. For the background, leaves and stems, I use titanium white, primary yellow, raw sienna, raw umber, French ultramarine blue, sap green and alizarin crimson. And for my reds, I used alizarin crimson, cad red light, naphthol red, I believe it's naphthol red, and magenta, and the gel medium, and you can see a set of palette knives. And here are the reds all mixed with the medium, which does turn them a little bit lighter. This is the only gel medium that I've ever used, so I can't say whether it's better or worse than any other, but I like this one. So I've used this panel for something else, which was a failure, and so I covered it with acrylic paint, light green, and now I'm going to use some primary yellow mixed with titanium white, and I'll also use some ultramarine, and on the base I'll use raw umber, just a mixture of different colors to form the background. I'm putting in a few shapes as I go, just to add some texture to my canvas. I'm mixing alizarin with the blue, and it adds a little more interest to my background. I like to get a lot of color in my background. I'm using alizarin crimson to put a little pink glow in the background. I think it helps liven up the painting a little bit. I use raw umber to ground my painting a little bit, otherwise everything looks like it's floating in midair, which it often is. I decided it was a little too dark, so I added more titanium white and in places a little extra alizarin, just to give it a more sort of pinky look. going to use my powder brush to blend it. I like a nice soft background when I'm painting roses. Of course, now I've blended out all my texture. I should have put that in after the blending, maybe. I'm using raw sienna to outline my stem, and I'll use raw umber as the shadow and alizarin crimson to make it a little lively, and for the highlight I'll use primary yellow. So this is just a little experiment. I haven't tried painting roses with a palette knife before. I didn't want to do the whole picture with a palette knife. I have done that. I've done seascapes that way, and it's a lot of paint to manipulate, and I didn't know how I would do that with rose flowers, which are quite delicate. Their petals are very fluttery and delicate, and I didn't know how to use a palette knife to do that. So this is just a trial. So having put the basic colour on, the mid-tone, I'm now putting lighter petals on with the naphtha red, and at the end I'll probably put some alizarin crimson for the darkest red. I don't often paint red roses because I find them a little harder to paint than white or roses of another colour. But it seems to be working this way, so I'm very pleased with it so far. I'm using horizontal strokes to try and evoke the edges of the petals. We see a sort of foreshortened view of those petals that are closest to us. And I haven't really done much with the petals that are far away. I'm hoping this will be enough to make a rose blossom. I like it so far. I'm going to do some leaves, so I'm starting off with a mixture of French ultramarine blue and sap green. That gives me a nice rich dark green, and I'll go from there. I always paint rose leaves in groups of 3. I think they look authentic that way, and I do believe that's how they appear on the stems. I'm reinforcing the stem again. I always go over it several times with different colors. Sometimes I add French ultramarine blue to give me a dark, and often it's raw umber or a combination, and I like to put in alizarin crimson, and I'm painting thorns, which I do by drawing a right angle to the stem and then curving my brush in from that. The type of roses I paint are very thorny. I like to think of them as a little more than wild, but not as cultivated as we see nowadays. I'm giving the leaves a blush of red as well. I think it looks good. I've seen that on rose leaves. I'm trying to think, but yeah, I think I've seen that on rose leaves. I'm mixing yellow with sap green and a little raw sienna, and I'm putting a highlight on the leaves. I see my hand is in the way. I hope you can see what I'm doing. I've got my camera at a slightly awkward angle. I'm using a dark mixture of French ultramarine blue and sap green to put the sepals on around the bud, and I'll put highlights on. This is my darkest color, and there are 5 sepals. I don't always paint all 5. I've painted in a few more leaves and livened up the stem a little bit with some yellow and alizarin red, alizarin crimson. But I have to cut the video a little bit because it's about an hour long, and so I try to cut out all the boring bits and leave you with stuff I think might be helpful. I'm using the alizarin to put in a center to the rose. I think it gives it a little more depth and makes it look a little more rose-like. I'm dabbing on some paint, some yellow, well, sort of a greenish yellow, so that I can smudge it in and give the background a little more texture, because I feel it needs something else. Well, that's all there is to it, really. I hope you enjoyed the video, and please give me a thumbs up and hit the subscribe button if you did, and that helps my channel grow. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you next time.